Hello, children. Today's topic of our lecture is translation. Now, before we go again into the whole detailed process of translation, let us connect this particular topic with our previous knowledge. We have discussed about a topic called as central dogma in our previous lectures. Central dogma means what? That DNA is the main master copy of the information. Then from DNA of course goes for its own replication, that is the one process. But from DNA, messenger RNA is formed, and messenger RNA, the process of formation of messenger RNA is called as transcription. Then this messenger RNA helps in formation or the synthesis of the proteins by attachment of various amino acids, and the process is called as translation. Till now we have already looked into the process of replication of DNA. We have also talked about genetic codes and transfer RNA which is going to play a major role in translation. We have talked about transcription again, and now we are talking about the last step of the formation of the proteins, that is from the codons present on the messenger RNA, the amino acid polypeptide chain is synthesized, which is called as protein. So that is the process which we are going to look into it. The slide which is focused in front of you says the definition of it. Translation is the process of synthesis of protein from messenger RNA with the help of the ribosomes. Now, this is actually what we are going to discuss today. Let's start. When we say translation, translation comprises of three steps. First one, it is called as initiation. Second, elongation. And third, termination. What happens in initiation? Let's read the slide what is there. Assembly of ribosomes on messenger RNA. Second, activation of amino acid and its delivery to transfer RNA. Elongation, repeated cycle of amino acid delivery. Second, peptide bond formation and movement along the messenger RNA, which is called as translocation. Third one, termination, release of polypeptide chain. Now these are the three steps of translation, and many things happens in these three steps. It's just a summary they have tried to give, that what is actually going to happen in these three steps. Let us pick up one by one and we work out of it. The first step of the translation is initiation. Let's have a look at the diagram and then we move ahead. I'm just passing the slide, then we will read what is written. Now, look at this particular slide. What it shows is the coming out of the messenger RNA from the nuclear pores. That means this messenger RNA was transcribed inside the nucleus when we are talking about eukaryotes, and after the formation of messenger RNA from the pores of the nucleus, it comes out. So now messenger RNA is present in the cytoplasm. So first step of the translation will happen to this messenger RNA. This messenger RNA, first once it starts this translation, before that there is a process called as activation of amino acid, and transfer of amino acid to transfer RNA occurs. This is the first step of translation, that is initiation. What happens in this case, just from the diagram here which is present, you can understand there is an enzyme which is called as amino acyl transfer RNA synthetase. If you remember our previous lecture, we had that tRNA kind of a structure which was having D loop and then T loop, and then it has anticodon loop. So if you remember, D loop of transfer RNA was responsible for attachment of amino acyl synthetase. So this particular enzyme, amino acyl synthetase, it helps in binding of the amino acid to the transfer RNA. Along with that, it makes a kind of a compound which is called as AAAMP, meaning it is going to make an amino acid enzyme compound, by utilizing the ATP energy. So ATP energy is used up and it gets converted into AMP, that is adenosine monophosphate, and amino acid AA, then AMP, adenosine monophosphate enzyme complex. So with the help of the enzyme amino acyl synthetase, amino acid attaches to the transfer RNA by using energy. So in this diagram you can see the last structure which is showing. You can see the a kind of a hexagonal structure, purple color, and the last structure which is shown. This is the activated transfer RNA which is carrying a amino acid with it. So purple color hexagonal structure which is shown here, it is nothing but the amino acid which is attached to the transfer RNA, and now it is activated, ready to go to the messenger RNA for its synthesis. So this is activation of the amino acid with the help of the enzyme amino acyl synthetase. The next step, we are still in the initiation part of the translation. Now what happens? In this case, I am just reading some things. Messenger RNA binds to the small ribosomal subunit at the binding site. Transfer RNA carrying methionine binds to the start codon. Large ribosomal subunit attaches. Transfer RNA with anticodon corresponding to the next codon attaches. Peptide bond forms between the amino acid and elongation continues in 5-3- direction along the messenger RNA. Now what is happening in this case? See, in this diagram you can see, first of all let us have a look at this messenger RNA is going to come. Then this messenger RNA attaches itself to the small subunit of the ribosomes. If you remember from the 11th form information, ribosome consists of two subunits, a smaller subunit and a bigger subunit. So a smaller subunit, first it comes and it attaches to the starting point of the messenger RNA, which will be at the 5' end of the messenger RNA. And 5' end, as I told in the previous lecture also, AUG will be always the starting codon, that will be initiating codon. So AUG will be present towards the 5' end of the messenger RNA. So transfer RNA, which is coding for the methionine, the first amino acid, that is going to act as an initiating codon also. So along with that methionine will come and attach itself, and it's going to read that AUG codon present on the messenger RNA, and it attaches itself. Simultaneously, the small unit of the ribosome also comes and attaches to that messenger RNA where that AUG is present. Along with that, then what is happening, the largest subunit will after these things have been attached, then the largest subunit of the ribosome will come and attach to that site, and along with that largest subunit, another codon which is going to code for the next amino acid present just after AUG, whatever the codon will be there, that codon will be read, and corresponding to that codon, this transfer RNA along with the largest subunit of the ribosome will come and attach to that point. Now once those attachments are done, what happens? The site at which you will find the AUG codon, that is the methionine, is called as P site, that is the initiation site. A site is a site where now addition of the polypeptides will start happening, and the E site, which you can see in the diagram, that is the exit site. So what will happen? At the P site, AUG is present. At A site, another transfer RNA having the next amino acid will be present, and E will be ready with it, so that once the whole of this assembly will shift, E will help in the ejection of the transfer RNA by leaving the amino acid which it is carrying, and then again the transfer RNA will go to amino acyl synthetase to get activated again with another amino acid. So in this case that is going to happen. So what will happen is that once the coding starts, once the translation starts, this P site which is there, which is having the amino acid, that is the methionine, will shift one codon, that means P will shift to E, A will shift to P. So once this P site shifts to shifts to E and A site shifts to P, what will happen? The methionine which is present along with the transfer RNA will create a peptide bond with the another amino acid which was present at the A site and now it is present at the P site. As soon as the transfer RNA will go to the E site, that is shown here with the brown color, that is ejected out. You can see in the second diagram, the transfer RNA is released, and before that there was a hexagonal structure present here on the transfer RNA. Now that gets attached to the that get attached to the next amino acid which is now present at the P site. Then the whole codon shifts. Now once a P site will have one amino acid, now A site will summon next coding sequence which is present in the messenger RNA. So the transfer RNA carrying the next amino acid will come and join at the A site. Then gradually again a shift will be there. So the amino acid which is present at the A site will move to the P site, and amino acid which is present from the E site will move to the present at the P site will move towards the E site. So again what will happen? Once it reaches E site, ejection will happen. So now transfer RNA will be released out. Again the amino acid will attach to the to the next amino acid which is present now at the P site of the transcription unit, and A site now summons the next transfer RNA. So what is actually happening is that P site is a area which helps in assembling of the amino acids, plus the release of it is taken care by the E site. At the P site, the amino acids are standing in a resting phase. A site summons the new amino acid based on the codons present on the messenger RNA, and then once the transfer RNA shifts from the P site to E site and A site comes to the P site, the attachment of the polypeptide chain will happen to the amino acid. So like that the chain of the amino acid will keep on happening. A site will keep on summoning, keep on adding the new amino acids, and P site will keep on attaching it to the helps in attaching the polypeptide chain with the next amino acid. So this will continue till A site reaches a zone in messenger RNA which is having the termination codons present in it. Now this termination codons in the messenger RNA will be there, and these messenger termination codon does not code for any of the factors. So what will happen, that once the subunit, the smaller subunit, the larger subunit, and the P site and the A site reaches that A site actually touches the termination codon zone, all these assembly gets dissociated out, and finally the polypeptide chain also gets freed out from the whole of the transitional machinery, and then this polypeptide chain can act as a simple protein. It will be now a protein. This is actually the process of translation. Just I am summarizing it, what has happened in it. First, the activation of the transfer RNA occurs with the help of amino acyl synthetase. That means amino acid attaches to the transfer RNA by utilizing energy, and amino acid AMP enzyme complex has been formed. Next one, what happens? Messenger RNA to the messenger RNA, smaller subunit of ribosome gets attached to it, and along with that the first AUG codon, which is the initiation codon, is read by one of the transfer RNA, and it brings its complementary base, that is the complementary amino acid, that is methionine. So methionine comes and attaches at the first codon of the messenger RNA, where already the smaller subunit of ribosome is attached. Then the larger subunit of the ribosome comes along with the second codon which is present along after the AUG on the messenger RNA, the complementary amino acid, the transfer RNA, along with that the larger unit of the ribosome comes. It also attaches to the messenger RNA. Now three sites are defined. One site which is E site, which will be the towards the left hand side, that towards the 5' end site, that is the ejection site. P site, where just now in this case presently when I am explaining, AUG or the initiation codon is present, and A site, which is the next site where the new codon, a new amino acid is present, which is now going to attach to the methionine. Now once the whole of the assembly moves one codon forward, what happens is that the P site, the methionine which was present in the P site shifts to the E site, then A site shifts to the P site, and now A site is free and it summons the new amino acid which is there according to the information on the messenger RNA. Once that summoning comes, the methionine now which is there will attach to the next amino acid which is now present at the P site, and E site will help in the ejection of the transfer RNA, as it has already given its methionine. Now its work is over, it will go and again it will get activated to come back to bring again one more amino acid. Now on the P site you have one amino acid, and A site the new amino acid. Again the whole assembly shifts to one more codon. So P site, the P site, whatever amino acids are there, they will shift to the E sites, and A site will be shifted to P site. A will be free again, it will be summoning the next amino acid based on the messenger RNA codons which are present. Now once it shifts to the E site, the whole of the amino acid will create a polypeptide chain to the amino acid which is present on the P site presently. Again once the A site is coming, then the whole one more assembly will move to one codon site. So again the P site will shift to the E site, A site will shift to the P site, then A site will be free and A site will again summon the another codon. So this will keep on happening till they reach the stop codons, and once the stop codons are there, the assembly, whole of the assembly, that is the larger subunit, smaller subunit, messenger RNA, all of them, they get dissociated out, thus separating out the polypeptide chain which has been formed. So this is actually the translation. Let's just go through the slides which we have written down the information about it. I'm reverting back the whole of the slides. The first process, as I said, activation of amino acids and transfer of amino acids to transfer RNA. What happens in it? Amino acid becomes activated by binding with its amino acyl transfer RNA synthetase in the presence of ATP. Then you can see the whole equation. Second thing, AMP enzyme complex, that's what I'm talking about. This is amino acid adenosine monophosphate enzyme complex formed, reacts with specific transfer RNA to form amino acyl transfer RNA complex. So this is the activation of the transfer RNA. Again the equation, you can have a look at it. Now the transfer RNA is ready to deliver the amino acid. Then what happens? The cap region of messenger RNA binds to the smaller subunit of the ribosomes. The ribosome has two sites, A sites and P site. The smaller subunit first binds to the initiator transfer RNA and then binds to the larger subunit so that the initiation codon AUG lies on the P site. The initiation transfer RNA is methionine tRNA binds to the P site. What happens in the elongation? Another charged amino acyl transfer RNA complex binds to A site of the ribosomes. The peptide bond is formed between the carboxyl group of amino acid at P site, that's what I'm saying, peptide bond formation, and amino group of the amino acid at A site by the enzyme peptidyl transferase. So peptidyl transferase will help in the formation of the peptide bond between the two amino acids. One amino acid are present at the P site, another amino acid present at the A site. The ribosome slides over the messenger RNA from codon to codon, and it will move in 5'3' direction. According to the sequence of the codon, amino acids are attached to one another by peptide bond and a polypeptide chain is formed. So this is the elongation process. What happens in finishing of it, termination of it? When A site of ribosome reaches the termination codon, which does not code for any amino acid, no charge transfer RNA binds to A site. Dissociation of the peptide from ribosome takes place, which is catalyzed by a release factor, and this is called as termination. And we all know there are three termination codons, that is UAA, UAG, and UGA. This is how the termination happens, and this is what we have understood. Now, whatever we have gone through the explanation of all these slides, to make the understanding a little bit more better, I'm adding a video to it. Please have a look at it. Thank you.
In prokaryotic cells, translation is initiated by formation of an initiation complex consisting of the 30S ribosomal subunit, formylmethionine tRNA, and messenger RNA. The 50S ribosomal subunit then joins the complex. Proteins called initiation factors are also involved, but are not shown. The 70S ribosome has two sites to which transfer RNA-carrying amino acids can bind. One is called the peptidyl, or P site, and the other is called the acceptor, or A site. There is also a third site called the exit, or E site, where transfer RNAs are released. The initiating transfer RNA carrying formylmethionine binds to the P site. A transfer RNA that recognizes the next codon and carries the second amino acid then moves into the A site. The formylmethionine carried by the transfer RNA in the P site is then joined to the amino acid carried by the transfer RNA that just entered the A site by a peptide bond. The ribosome now advances a distance of one codon, and the transfer RNA that carried the formylmethionine is released at the E site. A transfer RNA carrying the next amino acid now moves into the A site, where the anticodon on the transfer RNA matches the codon on the messenger RNA. The ribosome shifts down by a distance of one codon. As the shift occurs, the two amino acids on the transfer RNA in the P site are transferred to the new amino acid, and the second transfer RNA is released from the E site. The ribosome continues to move along the messenger RNA, and new amino acids are added to the growing polypeptide chain. Elongation of the polypeptide is terminated when a stop codon moves into the A site. A stop codon does not specify an amino acid and does not have a corresponding transfer RNA. The ribosome dissociates into the 30S and 50S subunits, and the messenger RNA and protein